Hello, and welcome to my Life on Paper. I am Briana. I am so excited to play along with the big December Sketch Fest at Scrap a Sketch. This is day one's sketch. Sketches are being released on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and I will be a little bit behind on this, but that's okay. Um, there is a challenge with each one of these sketches. Today's sketch is grab five: ink, ribbon, gold, washi, and stripes, and I do hit all of those. I will have the Facebook group for Scrap a Sketch linked below, along with those that are using these sketches as well. Thank you to my friend Mel, who from Mel W Scrapping, who let me know about this sketchathon. Sketch Fest. So here I have a picture of my two dogs in their kennels, and I can't remember the story behind this, but I'm sure one of my kids will let me know. So this is what I'm going to use um, for my layout today. So I grabbed out some papers. I really like the way it's American Crafts with the doghouse and the fire hydrants. So that was kind of my starting point. I backed the photo, I trimmed it down to 4x4. I backed the photo in black cardstock, and I'm going to make these strips 1.5 inches. I have two strips of every patterned paper. So I have this, and then I have the red with the paw prints, and I had to have a stripe, so I've got that black and gold stripe in there, which I also have gold. I'm going to use some gold. This is Vicky Bouton that I'm going to pull out. It's a texture paste, and I'm just going to use this through one of my favorite stencils. I know Tara at the Paper Snob, she likes to use this one too. So it's the XO, and I could be from Echo Park, but I'm just really, could be Simple Stories. I get those two mixed up all the time. I have used this stencil paste in the past, and I'm going to be really kind of random about it, which if you know me, you know I'm not very good at random, but that's okay. I work on it all the time. And I do make just a little bit of a mess, and you'll see that in a little bit. Um, I'm not going out to the edges. Well, when I start, I'm not going out to the edges. Oh, and the spatula I got on Amazon. I got 3 of them for, I don't remember how much it was, but it wasn't that much money. And it's one of those like rubber type crafting spatulas. Latex maybe? So here I'm just kind of feeling it out, like is my strips going to cover the texture paste behind. So I'll take this off, I will rotate it, and this is where I was like, okay, so it's a little bit wet yet, but I wanted to match it up, and so I did. You'll see it matches it up, but then the edge on the left upper side there goes over what I've just stenciled, and it's wet. When I pull it up, it doesn't look bad. It looks pretty darn good. It might be smooshed a little bit. It's not really smudged, but the problem is when you pick it up, well, and then if you go off the side of your stencil, it'll leave marks too, which you'll see happen to me. And that's okay. It's mixed media. It's not meant to be perfect. So there's ink on the back of that stencil. You can see a little bit of smushing up on top. But this time when I lay it down, it's going to have that texture paste on the back of the side, which will be okay because it's going to end up in a spot that the strips are going to be over, so you won't notice it. But it's going to create not a hole in my paper, but kind of a little divot because of the wet texture paste going down. You'll see that in a moment. But I'm just, again, trying to be random, getting this texture paste down. Always good to use your texture paste once it's opened because you never know how long it might stay fresh and good and all those kind of things. So here I am just applying some more texture paste. And this little spatula thing was kind of fun to use. And it's nice and thin widthwise so that it fits into my little pot of texture paste. So right there, I point to it. It's a little divot in the black paper, and you won't see it at the end, so it's all good. But it's at this point where I decide just to let it dry and come back to it. So there, it looks a little cattywampus, but it turns out very well after the pictures go on there. And I've already glued the strips down, and then I have these two separate ones that aren't overlapped by the sorry, camera shake, that aren't overlapped by the photo that are there as well. This layout does not end up with a title, which is very rare for me, and it is only going to be it doesn't have a companion page to it. It'll have something totally different on the other side, so I will do some kind of a title. Hopefully I'll think of something more creative than just dogs. So here I am making sure that all of the strips are adhered down, that they're not going to go anywhere or slide up or anything like that. I'm going to do my best to get them straight. Especially with all the texture paste in the background, I'm not too worried about it being exactly straight. In fact, well, I think it's crooked on my mat right now, or it might look a little more straight. There we go. There we go. There, that looks better. There won't be a lot to this layout in that I use the texture paste, so that gives it a lot of interest in the background. So I have some Paper Studio dog paws that have some gold on them as well. And that's really going to be about my only embellishment. I will do something for a little bit of a journaling tag, which you'll see in a moment as well. So there are those dog paws, and I just really put them down where the butterflies were in the sketch, overlapping the photo there. Go over to the Facebook group if you're not part already. I would highly encourage you to join. Lisa Sikorsky is the one that does all the sketches, and they're amazing. And then you can use them over and over and just change them up a little bit, either with different photos, or you can turn it or do it upside down or sideways, or they're so versatile and just a good jumping off point. Here I'm adding some gold washi tape. But Lisa's giving out prizes, so if you enter your layout into the albums, there's a drawing for prizes. After the sketch fest is all over with. So I would highly encourage you to do that. I'll have everything listed below. This is my front room where the dogs are laying in their kennels. This is where they usually lay, and I have a feeling my husband and I were maybe out of town that the kids were watching, and that's why we got a photo like this. I had a couple weeks where I was putting washi on every layout, so I was happy that I could use more washi on this layout. And my other thing I was using, excuse me, on these layouts were some metal, and the dog paw kind of looks like metal because it's that gold, and technically I have lots of gold on here, so we can count that as metal, but I don't have anything from my stash that would be counted as metal, but that's okay. I'm all about stash busting, and next month I will be playing along with Baby Got Scraps, so be watching for that. That's all month long. That is pretty exciting, and I use my stash normally, my scraps normally on every page, so I will continue that through the month of January. All right, so in a moment I think you're going to see Jillian. Oh, here's Jillian. That's my oldest. She was just checking it out, giving it some touches, and then she saw her hand on the computer where I mirror it to, and she had to say hi. So there's Jillian. I will make a tag. I've got a punch, and it's pretty teeny, but I think I won't have a lot to say on this page. So, and I had to make sure to get my ribbon on too. And because I was getting my ribbon on, I got my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, which I don't use enough. It sits right behind me on my scrapbook area, but it is a piece of metal. So there you go. I got metal on this layout, and it is fun, and it's a very good way to attach ribbon to tags, but it's just another thing in my stash that I should be using more of. So super excited to get that, and it's super easy to use. So, and I will just stick that up in the corner there. So far I have ribbon, gold, washi, and stripes. So my next thing up is ink, and I hope this counts as ink. I have a gold, it's Nouveau spray. I think it's antique gold, and so that is going to be my ink. Um, Maybe texture paste could be included as ink, but I figured if it doesn't, this is for sure. So got a lot of gold on there, and all the components. Make sure that you check out the people below playing along, as well as Lisa's Scrap a Sketch on Facebook. Make sure you share your layout to the album. We want to see what you all are doing too. I hope I've provided you with some inspiration. I hope you have a fabulous day and come back and see me soon.